Hey everyone, it is me. I never thought I'd be sitting here talking about my past financial blunders, but here we are. It is a bit raw, a bit honest, but hopefully it is helpful for some of you who are just starting out or feeling a bit lost in the investment world. I wish someone had told me all this when I was younger, when I was in my early 20s, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to conquer the world with my imaginary millions. I remember it so vividly, that burning desire to get rich quick. I mean, who doesn't want that, right? We all see those headlines, those gurus promising overnight success, and for a young, naive me, it was intoxicating. I came from a pretty average background, nothing fancy, just a regular family. So, the idea of striking it rich, escaping the ordinary, it was a powerful motivator, too powerful. It turns out, I was constantly looking for the next big thing, the hot stock, the secret strategy. I bought into the hype, hook, line, and sinker. It felt like everyone else was making money, and I didn't want to be left behind. That fear of missing out, or FOMO as they call it, it is a dangerous beast. It blinds you, makes you ignore all the red flags, and pushes you towards decisions that, in hindsight, seem utterly insane. I chased every trend, every rumor. Someone whispered about a hot new crypto I was in. A friend mentioned a stock that was guaranteed to go up. I bought it. I didn't do my own research. I didn't understand the underlying assets. I just saw dollar signs and went for it. It was like I was playing a slot machine, just constantly pulling the lever, hoping for a jackpot, but the house always wins, doesn't it? And in my case, the house won big. One of my biggest mistakes was short-term speculation. I thought I could outsmart the market, predict the dips and rises, and make a quick buck. I was constantly buying and selling, trying to time the market perfectly. Newsflash, you can't. The market is a fickle beast, unpredictable and unforgiving. I remember days, hours, just glued to my screen, watching the charts, my heart pounding with every fluctuation. It was exhausting, mentally draining, and ultimately a losing game. Each small win gave me a false sense of confidence, making me believe I was a trading genius. But those small wins were quickly overshadowed by massive losses. It felt like I was constantly one step behind, always buying at the peak and selling at the bottom. It was a vicious cycle of hope, excitement, and then crushing disappointment. Then there were the scams. Oh, the scams. When you're desperate to make money, you become vulnerable. I fell for a few too many promises of guaranteed high returns. Schemes that seemed too good to be true because, well, they were. These con artists prey on your hopes, your dreams, your financial anxieties. They paint a picture of effortless wealth, and when you're in that mindset of wanting to get rich quick, you fall for it. I remember one particular scam. It was an online platform promising unrealistic daily returns. I put a significant chunk of my savings into it, convinced I had found the holy grail of investing. For a few weeks, it looked like it was working. I saw the numbers grow, on paper at least. I even convinced a few friends to join, which is something I deeply regret. Then, one day, the website was gone. Poof, vanished without a trace, along with all my money, and my friends' money. The feeling of betrayal, the anger at myself for being so foolish, it was a heavy burden to carry. It taught me a harsh lesson that if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And always, always, do your due diligence, no matter how convincing the pitch. Another huge blunder was not understanding risk management. I went all in, heavy on a few investments, convinced they would skyrocket. I put all my eggs in one basket, a very fragile basket. As it turned out, the idea of diversification, of spreading your investments around to minimize risk, it was completely lost on me. I was driven by greed, by the desire for maximum returns, and I ignored all the warnings about putting too much into one asset. When those investments inevitably crashed, I lost a substantial portion of my savings. It was a hard pill to swallow, realizing that all my hard-earned money I had saved up over years, was just gone. The emotional toll was immense. I felt a profound sense of failure, of regret. It was a really dark period for me, questioning all my financial decisions, wondering if I would ever recover. And then there was emotional trading. This is a big one, something I see so many beginners fall into. Just like I did, I let my emotions dictate my decisions. When the market was up, I was euphoric, buying more, convinced it would only go higher. When it dipped, I panicked, selling at a loss, fearing it would go even lower. I was constantly reacting to the news, to the market sentiment, instead of sticking to a well-thought-out plan. My trading was a roller coaster of emotions, and my portfolio reflected that volatility. I was constantly chasing gains and cutting losses, often at the worst possible times. It is so easy to get caught up in the fear and greed that permeate the financial markets. But truly, successful investing requires a calm, rational, and disciplined approach, something I definitely did not have back then. After losing pretty much all my hard-earned savings, hitting rock bottom financially, something clicked. The pain of those losses, the shame, the regret, it was a powerful catalyst. I realized I couldn't continue down this path. The desire for quick riches had led me to ruin. I needed a complete overhaul of my mindset, my approach to money and investing. I decided to stop chasing the next big thing and start learning the fundamentals. I buried myself in books, articles, podcasts, anything I could get my hands on that talked about sound financial principles. I started with the basics, understanding budgeting, saving, and the power of compound interest. It sounds boring, I know, especially when you're used to the adrenaline rush of speculative trading, but it was necessary. I learned about low-risk investments, about building a diversified portfolio, about the importance of a long-term perspective. I embraced the idea of being a slow and steady investor rather than a frantic gambler. It was a complete paradigm shift. I started seeing money not as a tool for instant gratification, but as a resource to be managed wisely to grow steadily over time. I learned that true wealth isn't built overnight, but through consistent effort, discipline, and patience. I also realized that financial independence isn't about having $1 million in your bank account, but about having enough financial security to make choices, to live life on your own terms. It is about being able to say no to opportunities that don't align with your values, and yes, to experiences that bring you joy. Now, I'm not going to lie. It was a tough journey, unlearning all those bad habits, overcoming the emotional baggage of past failures. It took time and effort, but it was worth it. Today, I'm in a much better place financially, and more importantly, mentally. I'm no longer chasing the next shiny object. I'm focused on building a solid financial foundation, on making smart, informed decisions, and on sharing my experiences with others. That is why I'm here, talking to you. I want to help young people, especially those in their 20s, avoid the same mistakes I made. I want to share the lessons I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. My goal now is to share my story, my failures, my lessons, to help others navigate the complex world of personal finance. I want to demystify investing, to break down complex concepts into simple, understandable terms. I want to show you that you don't need to be a financial genius to build wealth. You just need a solid understanding of the basics, a disciplined approach, and a healthy dose of patience. I'm not here to sell you anything or to promise you overnight riches. I'm just a regular guy who made a lot of mistakes, learned from them, and now wants to help you avoid them. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the world of investing, if you've made some mistakes yourself, or if you're just starting out and want to learn the ropes, stick around. We're in this together. One of the biggest lessons I learned, and something I emphasize constantly, is rejecting the get-rich-quick mentality. It is a trap, a dangerous illusion that preys on our desires for instant gratification. True wealth, lasting wealth, is built slowly, steadily, through consistent effort and smart decisions. It is about playing the long game, not the lottery. It is about understanding that there are no shortcuts, no secret formulas. It is about diligence, patience, and a willingness to learn and adapt. The allure of quick money is powerful. I know. I fell for it myself, multiple times, but every time, it led to disappointment and financial losses. So, if someone is promising you guaranteed high returns with little to no risk, run, seriously, run the other way. Another crucial aspect of my journey was understanding money not just as a means to buy things, but as a tool for freedom. Freedom from stress, freedom to pursue your passions, freedom to help your loved ones. When you have your finances in order, you have options. You're not tied to a job you hate just to pay the bills. You can choose how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what kind of life you want to build. That is true wealth. In my opinion, it is not about the fancy cars or the big houses. Although those can be nice, it is about the peace of mind that comes from knowing you're financially secure, that you can weather unexpected storms, and that you have the resources to live a life that truly fulfills you. I also want to touch upon the importance of a solid money mindset for those in their 20s. This is a crucial decade for shaping your financial future. It is a time when you're likely earning your first significant income, and the decisions you make now can have a profound impact on your long-term wealth. Don't fall into the trap of keeping up with the Joneses. Don't compare your financial journey to others. Focus on your own goals, your own values, and what truly matters to you. Learn to live below your means, to save consistently, and to invest wisely. Even small amounts, invested regularly, can grow into substantial wealth over time. Thanks to the magic of compounding, it is about building good habits early on, habits that will serve you well for the rest of your life. And let's talk about those common pitfalls for beginners. The first one, as I've mentioned, is chasing quick profits. Avoid it at all costs. The second is not doing your own research. Don't rely on tips from friends, online forums, or social media gurus. Do your homework. Understand what you're investing in, how it works, and what the risks are. The third is emotional trading. Learn to control your emotions, to stick to your plan, and not to make impulsive decisions. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Spread your investments across different asset classes, industries, and geographies. This will help mitigate risk and protect you from significant losses if one particular investment performs poorly. The fifth is not having a long-term perspective. Investing is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't expect to get rich overnight. Focus on consistent, steady growth over many years. Another thing I want to emphasize is the sheer amount of bad advice out there. The internet is flooded with it. Everyone's an expert. Everyone has a secret strategy. It is overwhelming, and it can be hard to distinguish good advice from bad. That is why it is so important to educate yourself, to learn the fundamentals, and to develop a critical eye. Don't blindly follow anyone's advice, not even mine. Always question, always research, always verify. Take everything with a grain of salt and make sure it aligns with your own financial goals and risk tolerance. My approach now is all about simplicity and consistency. I focus on low-cost index funds, diversified portfolios, and a long-term investing horizon. It is not glamorous, it is not exciting, but it is effective. It is about letting time and compound interest do the heavy lifting rather than trying to beat the market. And let's be real, investing can be intimidating, especially when you're just starting out. There is so much jargon, so many different options, it can feel like a foreign language, but don't let that deter you. Start small, learn one thing at a time. There are countless resources available online, many of them free, that can help you build your financial literacy. The most important thing is to just start. Don't wait until you have a lot of money, or until you feel like an expert. Start with what you have and keep learning along the way. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a step towards a more secure financial future. I truly believe that financial education is one of the most valuable investments you can make in yourself. It empowers you to make informed decisions, to take control of your financial destiny, and to build a life of freedom and abundance. It is not about becoming a millionaire overnight. It is about building a solid foundation, brick by brick, that will support you throughout your life. It is about understanding the power of your money and how to make it work for you. And it is about avoiding the pitfalls and mistakes that can derail your progress. So if you're watching this and you're feeling discouraged, or if you've made some financial mistakes in the past, know that you're not alone. We all make mistakes. The important thing is to learn from them, to pick yourself up, and to keep moving forward. It is never too late to start building a better financial future. It is never too late to learn, to grow, and to take control of your money. I did it, and so can you. It takes patience, it takes discipline, and it takes a willingness to learn. But the rewards, the peace of mind, the freedom, they are absolutely worth it. So, let's learn together, let's grow together, and let's build a brighter financial future for ourselves. I often think about the person I was back then, chasing those fleeting dreams of instant riches, oblivious to the true principles of wealth building. I wish I could go back and tell myself all of this. But then again, perhaps some lessons need to be learned the hard way. My journey has been filled with bumps and bruises, but it has also taught me invaluable lessons about resilience, humility, and the importance of continuous learning. And that is what I want to share with you all. This isn't about being perfect. It is about being persistent. It is about understanding that setbacks are a part of the journey, not the end of it. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, to refine your approach, and to come back stronger. And for those who might be facing similar challenges, feeling overwhelmed by past financial missteps, remember that your past does not define your future. You have the power to change